Yeah, it's very different. Just in the fact of understanding the way that we're going to attack, the way that he wants to call games, the way that he sees the defenses, the way that he sees football, really. And honestly, a year into it, as I told you guys last year, was thankful for him. We see the game the same, and now it's about just advancing the knowledge of the system and really getting it into the gameplay, game scenario situations, and making sure everybody's in tune to those situations and really taking the next step and getting it to a 1500 level.
How important is that to be able to be in review stage right now as far as it helping you guys get off to a fast start in September?
Yeah, it's big, and not only that, us being ahead, it's about getting these younger guys up to our speed so we can make sure that we hit training camp with everybody taking that next step to make sure, as you said, when we hit the fall, when we hit game one, that we're full speed, that there's not the development period, I guess you could say, that we had last year, right? I think Coach can attest to that, as we both did, right? Figuring out the way that this team was going to be, the way that the offense, the way we're going to call things, is we can go into it with a sense of our identity and the way that we're going to be aggressive and attack people.
Oh yeah, the rest of the NFC, they're in deep, deep trouble. Dak Prescott sounds extremely confident heading into his second year in Mike McCarthy's offensive system, and he sounds like he is ready to completely let loose. I think that's the thing that everybody kind of underestimated about what we saw out of the Dallas Cowboys last season. Yes, we had some holes. Yes, we had a defensive coordinator who didn't want to be here anymore. And yes, we had an offense that got off to a god-awful start to start the season because they were installing a brand new system. This is going to be the second year in that offense, and Dak Prescott was only able to become, runner-up for MVP and an all-pro quarterback in his first year in a new offensive system. Now, he understands exactly what Mike McCarthy and that offensive scheme is going to be asking of him as it pertains to game situation, what kind of calls may be called depending on the different time in the game that you're in, how he wants him to play, the pace he wants him to play with, how the timing of the plays should look, how they should actually be executed as it pertains to the QB getting to the top of his drop and the receiver being at the right spot of the field where he's supposed to be at when that QB gets to the top of his drop back. I think that we're going to see a more potent version of Dak Prescott in this offense than we even seen last season. He had 36 touchdowns. I'm banking 40 this season. Run up for MVP. I'm banking he's actually going to win the MVP this season. And I don't care what y'all say. I'm sipping on all the Kool-Aid. Sip, sip, mofo. Sip, sip.
This being year two in Mike's offense, obviously second year since changing my drops. I guess you can just say just being more detailed and hammered into my drops and really making sure the receivers understand that because we've already had a good couple of days, and when they do that, I think that's when we're at our best, is when they understand it's about them running fast, getting to their spots, and letting us decision makers decide if they're open or not and let it loose. So for me, it's about getting my feet in tune and making sure that they understand that.
And as it pertains to that big looming contract distraction over Dak Prescott's head, I don't know if Dak could have given a more perfect answer as it pertains to the questions that were asked about his contract negotiations and where his mind is currently at.
What's the status of your business, talking about business?
Business is business. I'll leave it where it gets handled. Right now it's about being my best for this team right now in this moment. OTAs helping these guys out and just focused on that. And I know my business will take care of itself, and so been in it before, experienced, and just controlling what I can right now.
Why have you been able to be so patient when it comes to the business?
I don't play for money. Never have, never cared for it, to be honest with you. Would give it up just to play this game. So I allow that to the business people to say what it's worth, what they're supposed to give a quarterback of my play, a person of my play, leader of my play, I guess you can say. And for me, it's about, as I said, control. I can control and handle that part, and the rest will take care of itself.
Hey, man, I don't care what you say. You couldn't have given a better answer that Dak Prescott just gave when he's probably been badgered about this exact situation more times than any of us can count at this point. We've seen the story being run on ESPN, FS1, your mama's TV, your grandma's TV, your uncle's TV. It don't matter what TV, if it has any type of sports talk network on it, Dak Prescott and his contract negotiations are going to be front and center. And Dak is Dak is gaining my respect even more through this entire situation. Dak is already someone I look to and I'm like, bro, he has every quality, especially on a business standpoint, from a business standpoint and presenting yourself to the public. He has every quality that I think any respectable man should want as it pertains to how you should carry yourself and how you should interact with people, right? But the way he is handling this high pressure situation, the answers he's given, simply letting us know, y'all, I am not trying to get the most money possible. I'm going to translate for y'all. I am not trying to get the most money possible. I don't play this game to get rich. Now, getting rich is going to be a byproduct of that, especially since I play with the Cowboys. I think Dak is understanding that more and more and more. If you heard him speak at his gala event, he understands the gravity and the gravitas that Dallas Cowboys star carries with it, and the fact that it opens up so many doors from him on a networking perspective and just for his own personal endeavors. Micah Parsons has clearly figured that part out, right? But Dak understands what the star is and the fact that money's never going to be a problem for him. He played quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. He's never going to be broke, y'all. He's always going to have something and somewhere he can get some money from because of where he played and the position he played. All right, so he's not worried about money, and he's making that very clear here. I would play this game for free. I'm not going to, but I would play this game for free. To me, that's Dak Prescott in a very subtle way, letting us know that he's not trying to get like maximum dollars, right? He simply wants to be fairly compensated for the level of play that he has exhibited and the leadership role that he holds on that team. And I think that is well within his rights to ask for. Anybody that was the GM of a Coca-Cola factory, you would want them to give you all of your bonuses and all of your incentives if you're hitting all of your marks and stuff, right? Same thing for Dak. He's hitting all the marks. He's hitting all of the checkpoints that he needs to hit to qualify himself for a pay raise. And all he's saying here is, I do want to be compensated fairly as it pertains to what they see the value of what I bring to this team, right? I think that is, you can't get upset at that. You can't get upset at that. We got Jared Goff out here getting $53 million a year. You cannot get upset at Dak Prescott if he wants $55 or $56 million a year. Can't get upset at him. If the Cowboys are willing to pay him $60 million a year, that's how much they thought he was worth. So you still can't get upset at him in that case because the Cowboys are willing to do it, right? But Dak Prescott doesn't sound like a man to me that's trying to get max dollars. He sounds like a guy that just wants to be properly compensated for what he's doing on his team. And he's not about to take a hometown discount, especially on what's probably going to be his last big contract. Even though he said he doesn't really care about the money aspect of it and he's not concerned about it, it's going to take care of itself. He's experienced this before. He made it very clear to say that the first time he did his contract negotiations, it got a little personal for him. He said this time, he's not worried about anything. So all of you guys is, oh, Dak needs to leave. Jerry is just doing him dirty. The Cowboys, it's not bothering him, y'all. It's not bothering him. Stop pushing that narrative. Stop trying to peddle your narrative and be slick about it. Because really what you're trying to do is you don't want Dak here anymore. But you don't want to get eaten up by the pro-Dak people. So instead, you're trying to dress up your non-desire for Dak to be here as you wanting better for him somewhere else. You can stop pushing that BS. He just let you know it's not personal for him at all.
Yeah, I think it just depends. I think it depends on person relationships and honestly position and how much that pay can affect others. Understanding where I am, what my pay means to a team, to an organization, I don't really take things personal. Maybe in my first deal, right, things were a little different than they are now, and that's one, my age, one of who I am, where I am in my life, and I guess the fact that first deal got done, the understanding that at this point I have a lot of decision in this too. I have a lot of say so too. So it's about understanding business is business, and for me, as I said, it's controlling what I can, and that's making sure I'm the best player that I can be right now.
And as for the last part of this particular segment, ladies and gentlemen, we have a quarterback controversy brewing. This man right here probably going to lose his backup quarterback job for the Cowboys this season, because I'm willing to bet Trey Lance is going to move into the second on the depth chart coming up for this upcoming season, especially with all the praises being heaped on Trey Lance by literally everyone that you ask about him, whether it be Mike McCarthy, a trainer, someone in the front office, Dak Prescott himself. Everyone is heaping praise on Trey Lance, including the guy that he's trying to take the job of. Check this out.
But it's about bringing others along. And anytime I do that, I make myself and find myself better. So just in the sense of helping Trey and talking with Trey, I'm making myself better. I'm more focused on my feet. I'm not going to tell him to do something, then go out there and do something opposite and be hypocritical. So holds me more accountable, and it's fun. At the end of the day, I love watching somebody get better, watching somebody get excited, get the joy that I get when I improve from one day to the next. And so that's the way that this team is going to get better. And it's not just me doing that. It's other guys, receivers, bringing on young guys, as I said, offensive linemen, bringing those guys with them. And that's the culture that we believe we have here.
How has he gotten better?
I think for once changed his mindset, and he's just come in really with that mindset of working and how can I get better and asking me questions, coaches questions. He's calling young guys. He works his ass off. He's pushing me. I can tell you that. I'm somebody, I don't like to let other people get more reps than me or not. And Trey's the person I've got to watch because he's trying to get up there on the rep count. And so that's a testament to him and how much he's putting into this. And I've seen it, and he's gotten better. And yeah, he can play.
He might also be trying to get up there on the depth chart as well. How do you?
That's okay.
How do you not be threatened by the talk about what Trey could possibly be and how that relates to you and your contract situation?
As long as he's getting better, I promise you I'm getting better. So I encourage it. I hope he pushes me. I hope he makes people think. So I know where I'll be, and I know who I am, and confident in the person and player that I am. So I hope he does. Hope he pushes me.
See, this right here is the mentality of a freaking champion, ladies and gentlemen. This man don't give a damn who's sitting behind him. He's not looking at anyone as a threat because he understands, just like all of us, you watching this video, he understands that control what you can control and you leave everything else up to the people that can control those things, period. Dak knows that, okay, I can help Trey Lance. I don't mind helping Trey Lance. Like he said, it helps me lock in as well. But he's saying he doesn't mind competition. He doesn't mind someone pushing him to get better. He doesn't mind someone trying to challenge him for his spot because he's confident in who he is and the player he is and what he brings to a team. And that's exactly how a player, how a leader should be moving within your organization. This is in stark contrast to how Tony Romo treated Dak Prescott when he was in a similar situation. But here's the thing. Trey Lance could potentially not only move into a backup quarterback position, but there's a real possibility that he really could end up being our franchise QB at some point, or the future of the Dallas Cowboys at some point, even if Dak Prescott were to get a brand new extension.
So here's where the quarterback controversy takes place. And no, not with QB1, QB2. Trey Lance could potentially still be in line to be the Cowboys' incumbent franchise QB once Dak Prescott is done playing. If Dak Prescott were to sign a 3 to 4 year contract extension right now, Trey Lance would be 27, 28 years old roughly by the end of that contract. That means that in his age 27 year, more than likely, he would be moving into a starting position for the Cowboys, and you have a guy that's been incubating for the last 3 or 4 years or so on your bench, learning your system, learning behind an all-pro level QB, and boom, you have yourself a Green Bay Packers situation, and you're just able to continue on that treadmill of having a competent QB at that starting position. Now, I will say this, I don't think that Trey Lance is going to be willing to stick around Dallas for that long because I do think that he's going to want to seek out a chance to start elsewhere, especially if Dak does sign that contract extension. That's pretty much going to all but seal Trey Lance's fate here with Dallas. But make no mistake about it, the Cowboys understand he is still an asset, and they're going to market him as such. They're not going to talk to you about the struggles and issues he's having. They're going to make sure that nothing but positive comments are coming out about Trey Lance because they don't want to dampen the value on a guy that they may end up being able to trade to get some draft capital back. Who knows? But Trey Lance moving into that backup QB position is only good for the Cowboys because either they'll be able to flip him to get other players on the team that we need in positions of value that people are actually going to be able to play, or he could end up being our starting QB in the future if he's willing to wait for a couple more years.
But yeah, man, either way, my QB continues to say all of the right things. We have a quarterback controversy heating up in Dallas, but it's not the controversy you think. QB1 is safe, QB2, not so much. We still them same old Cowboys.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Woo, shut up, my boy. Hey, still them boys.